So welcome to our annual Post 144 Veterans Honoring Veterans Veterans Day event. We have approximately 138 people here today. The capacity is 140, so a few couldn't get reservations and a few canceled. However, we have a good contingent of Scituate veterans here. Where was I? I'm using my finger now. We have approximately 31 Army veterans, 23 Navy veterans, 10 Air Force veterans, 4 Coast Guard veterans, and 4 Marine veterans spanning from Korea to Operation Iraqi Freedom. And for our Marine friends, I would like to wish the Marine Corps a belated happy birthday. Yesterday was the Marine Corps' birthday. The Marine speaks. I would like to mention what the Post does for those of you that really don't know much about us. We don't have our own building. The town lets us use the stone building in North Scituate, and our veteran friends at the VFW let us have some meetings at their facility as needed. We get our money for our programs mostly from donations and collecting bottles and cans at the dump every Saturday. Some of our programs that we provide are, we do Flag Up Scituate, where we annually place our beautiful national colors on the poles at North Scituate, Greenbush, and Hummerock. And the town does this also in the harbor. Every year we have to purchase new flags and poles because Scituate being a coastal community, they get pretty beat up pretty quick. Boys State and Girls State, every year we choose a couple of boys and a couple of girls to go to Stonehill College to participate in a week-long instruction in how the American government works. We sponsor the annual oratory contest. Well, as the founders thought it would work. We sponsor the annual oratory contest where high school students deliver orations about subjects in the U.S. Constitution. And the 2 top winners of that in the at our post level then go on to the district level. And those winners then go to the state level, and that winner from Massachusetts goes to compete in the national level. And we, at our post level, we award the first place winner a $1,200 scholarship. And the second place, I'm a little foggy on this, but I'll say approximately, that'll make it legal. Approximately another $800 for the second place winner. We do the Post 144 Winter Wreaths program, which is held every year in conjunction with the National Wreaths Across America. We have a ceremony at Lawson Common to honor each branch of the military, and then we move over to Cudworth Veterans Cemetery to place the wreaths on all the graves. And we spend every year close to $4,000 on this endeavor. We provide rifle salutes at veterans' burials and at veterans' functions. We march in the Memorial Day Parade, the St. Patrick Day Parade, and the Hummerock Horribles Parade. And with help from our veteran-friendly friends at the Voyage Restaurant in Hummerock, we honor all Scituate veterans with this complimentary luncheon. And we have the owner Keith is in the kitchen with the cook Tom. We have for bartenders Steph over there, and Jim, who's just walking in with the Voyage shirt on. So we thank them for helping us pull this off every year. I want to mention, since we're all veterans, the owner of the Voyage is a veteran of the Irish Navy. He's a proud Irishman from Cork and a proud U.S. citizen. They're great people down there, and yes, I'm putting a plug in for them because they treat us so well. The veterans. They have great food. 32 taps of beer, I believe. So they got you covered. Of course, I think they're all Irish beer. Anyways, they have music, and it's quite a hangout for our post. And as we say in Ireland, it's the crack that keeps me there. Also, I'll put out a plea for new members for our post, especially younger members. A lot of us are, getting older, and I don't know how many more years I'll be able to climb up and down telephone poles putting the flags up. So, if anybody knows a younger member, then please have them contact us, a younger veteran. Now, I also want to mention that this year we lost two of our charter members to the Post. One of them, Ron Wheatley, who was a charter member when the Post restarted in 2006. A great guy, and also we lost Conley Ford, who was actually the man who brought Post 144 back into being. Originally, Post 144 kind of dissolved around the early 1970s, and I think a lot of it had to do with the feelings that people had back then towards vets. But Conley saw a need, and he rose to the occasion, and he restarted Post 144. So he was not only a charter member, but he was also the main person responsible for bringing this back to Scituate. And finally, I have a 3,000-page thing I'm going to read. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts made a proclamation. I'm just going to quickly read it. Whereas since the Commonwealth's earliest days, thousands of men and women have served our country in defense of freedom and liberty, and whereas on November 11, 1918, after 4 years of conflict, the armistice was signed in the forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations and Germany, ending World War I, the war to end all wars. And whereas since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans. And whereas in November 2023, the world will commemorate the 105th anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting in World War I at 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918. The 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas there are approximately 300,000 veterans living in Massachusetts, and whereas today we are reminded of the great sacrifice and contributions our veterans have made to our country, and whereas we honor and salute those who served our country throughout the generations with honor, patriotism, and courage, and whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts citizens remember the bravery of those who served their country so that their dedication and sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. And now, therefore, I, Maura T. Healy, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2023 to be Veterans Day, and urge all residents of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given at the Executive Chamber in Boston this 11th day of November in the year 2023, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 247th. So, now, let's see. After I bored everyone, now we're going to hear from the Scituate Select Board, Maura. Maura, come on up.
Thank Bob. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maura Curran, the chair of the select board. Happy to represent them, and also along with me is Susan Harrison, daughter of a Army veteran, as I myself am also the daughter of a Navy veteran. And on behalf of the select board, of course, I'm always honored to be here personally to attend this event with you and to extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of the veterans here today for your service. But first I'm just going to take care of a little bit of business and thank the American Legion, the Scituate Veterans Advisory Committee, the Senior Center, as well as Don Knapp, our Veterans Officer. It takes a lot of folks to put this event together for all of you. I hope you all feel incredibly appreciated because we do appreciate you all. And we also have the girls hockey and boys hockey team here to help serve. And of course, thank you to the Senior Center staff who has also helped put everything together. So it takes a village, and we appreciate you all. And as I stand here looking out at all of you, I do still continue to be humbled and honored to be in your presence. Through your service, you've helped to make the world a better place with your courage, your sacrifice, and your dedication to our country. And during these tumultuous times, I also want to extend our heartfelt gratitude and compassion to those who are active today around the world, preserving our freedoms, and especially to those deployed in the Middle East. Those who live in freedom will always be grateful to those who helped preserve it. So just on behalf of the entire town of Scituate, I want to thank you all for your service, your sacrifice, and your commitment to preserving individuals' freedoms here and around the world. And I really hope you enjoy today. You deserve it. Celebrate yourselves, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Now we'd like to hear from Mr. Bill Burkhead, the superintendent of schools, who will tell us about what the schools are doing in the veteran area.
Good morning, everyone. Bill Burkett, Superintendent of Schools, my 4th year here. Still meeting a lot of people, and it's an honor and privilege to be here. I want to echo what Ms. Curran said and thank everybody that's put this great event on. My first in attendance, and look to do this every year. This day means a lot to me personally, although I'm not a veteran. There's been veterans in my life, and I think it's important today and every day to hear the individual stories behind every veteran. And I'll share some personal experiences with mine, and I know having our students here and some of our veterans here, the intergenerational conversations and importance and significance of being a veteran and love of country is so important, and I'm so proud to be part of it. So thank you all. So I have 2 nieces right now that are 23 and 21 years old that have enlisted. Sierra is an E3 in the Army and in the 2nd phase of infantry training down in Georgia right now. Very proud of her. Shiloh is 21 years old, senior airman in the Air Force as a mechanical engineer. She's traveled the world already. She's stationed in Italy and is getting deployed this weekend to an unknown destination, which has my sister and our family concerned and anxious. So there's feelings of that, and I know that many families here have gone through that, and many of you have lived that. So I really want to tell you how much I appreciate that, and our family appreciates that. We're very proud of our nieces and their dedication to our country, and all those that do so. It all started for me as a youngster because I looked up to my grandfather. His name was Arthur Shields. He's since passed away. He was a proud retired Quincy police officer and served in the Army in the 101st Medical Regiment. He also served in the Coast Guard and was a paratrooper. I remember when I was young, probably 9 or 10 years old, he lived on the beach and he'd have me jumping off the seawall and doing some push-ups and stuff and then running into the water. And I said, wow, this is great exercise, because I just wanted to throw the football, play on the beach, and read a book or something. And then when that started going into November, December, I said, oh, why am I going into the water in December? This is crazy. And I realized back then he was conditioning to me to either be a paratrooper like himself or a Navy SEAL, neither for which I was cut out for, and he told me that shortly after and said, you better stick to going to college and being a teacher. That's what I did. But I love him, and my love goes out to all of you too on behalf of my grandfather. My mother bought me this shirt that I wear with pride when my grandfather passed away. I wear it often, not just on Veterans Day, but it's particularly important today, and gives me a fond memory of my grandfather and his love of country and his service. Some things we're doing in the schools, because I think it's important that our children, the next generation, knows the importance, again, of giving back to our country, the importance of the greatness of our country, and to continue to fight for it as we move forward. I do want to thank Matthew Short, who did TAPS this morning. He's a senior at Scituate High School. What an amazing job, Matthew. Thank you. And senior Aubrey Brennan, who did the national anthem. That was so I think Mr. Callahan may have referred to this, but district-wide in Scituate, we participate in the Voices of Democracy. The topic this year was, what are the greatest attributes of our democracy? We had over 70 entries, which was, I think, one of our highest, and we continue to promote that, and we'll look forward to seeing more entries in that competition. 4 students were selected as winners, and we'll move on to the state level at the VFW competition, so we're excited about that. Scituate Public Schools also participates in the American Legion oration competition, which Mr. Callan spoke eloquently about. And at the elementary levels, we started a new tradition recently at all elementary schools that happened actually this week. And leading up to Veterans Day, we have lunches and breakfasts where the young children invite their veteran relatives into the school. We have speeches, we have poems written by the kids to show respect and honor for our great nation and our great veterans. And it's really moving and remarkable. So if you want to take part in that, please let me know. But that happens in all of our elementary schools every year around this time. I want to give a very special thank you to the VFW Women's Auxiliary for donating a ruler for every 3rd and 4th grader this year, which displays all of our presidents on one side and the Pledge of Allegiance on the other. So round of applause for Women's Auxiliary. And at the high school level, besides preparing our young men and women for military if they so choose, in the academies, we also started something new this year, last year, excuse me. It was the 2nd annual, if you're around and willing to attend. It's run by our counseling department, teamed up with local community members. It's a military and career opportunity. It's the 2nd event. It's going to be on November 18th, which is next Saturday at 10 a.m. at the high school. And it's called the Military Showcase. And representatives from West Point, the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, the Coast Guard Academy, Mass Maritime, ROTC programs from all branches, National Guard, Marine Corps, Scituate Police and Fire Departments, military prep schools, and the U.S. Armed Forces are all on hand to share information ranging from a wide variety of life-changing educational decisions and career opportunities available in all of those branches and entities. And that's a South Shore community event, so if you know of anyone interested, please send them there. It's open to all. We're excited about it. Last year went off with a huge turnout, and it's a great way to again, honor and show respect for our military and services, but also expose that to our students and our children if you so choose. So again, I'm honored and humbled to be here. I won't take any further of your time, but I am located right up the street at central office, so if any of you would like to ever reach out, come talk, have a coffee about our schools or anything that interests you, I'd be happy to do so and want to learn your stories and hear your stories and meet more people. So again, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Superintendent Burkhead. Before I forget, along that same vein, at each table you'll see some cards that were made by Hatherley School students, and they were dropped off here the other night. So there should be one at least one at each table. Now I'd like to introduce the president of the Board of Directors for the Scituate Food Pantry, Mr. Richard Ferguson.
Not an enviable position being last on the agenda here. I'm a volunteer at the pantry as well as participate on the board of the pantry. But I do want to thank you for your service. I'm a veteran too, so I know how much those words mean to each and every one of us when we hear them. And people are sincere and tell us that thank you for their service. What I want to talk about today is food insecurity. And food insecurity means not having enough food, not having access to nutrition, affordable food. And food insecurity can have a negative impact on your well-being, your mental health, as well as your physical health. The Feed America organization reports studies showing 1 in 9 veterans are food insecure. In this past September's issue of the Stars and Stripes military newspaper, reported a recent RAND Corporation study that said 70% of veterans over 70 years old are food insecure. That means they don't have enough to eat or are not using food assistance programs, and I would expect this number would increase over the years as with the inflation and prices continue to rise. And no one who served this country should have to worry about putting food on the table for themselves or their loved ones. Sorry, and that's why I'm here today. The Veterans Administration can assist veterans with programs like Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP as some of us know, along with other programs to help with food insecurity for veterans. But right here in Scituate, within walking distance of where you're sitting right now, is another resource for veterans. It's the Scituate Food Pantry. And we would like to serve those veterans in Scituate who may be in need. When we were in the military, we watched out for our buddies. We need to continue to do so. If you're a veteran or you know in our community, or you know someone in our community that has difficulty getting enough food for themselves and their families, please talk to one of our volunteers today. We have a dessert table right outside the door here after you have your lunch. Please come and talk to us. We have further information. And again, thank you for your service and enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. And now we're going to do the POW MIA ceremony, and Bob Young. Bob, where's Bob? Oh, you're already on top of it. Bob's going to read the dissertation while Kevin Walsh points to the stuff on the table as he speaks.
Call your attention to the table. There you will see a single red rose in the vase that is a reminder of the lives of each of the missing and their loved ones who keep the faith, still awaiting answers. The red ribbon tied around the vase shows our continued determination to account for the missing. A lemon slice at each bread plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt recalls the tears endured by those missing and their families who seek answers. The Bible represents the strength gained through our faith to sustain those lost from our country, and which was founded as one nation under God. The inverted glass symbolizes their inability to share at today's toast. The chairs at each place stand empty to express their absence. So that's what it's all about. And we do this every year as a reminder of those who are still missing and held captive. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Now, Doris Crary is going to recite the famous poem In Flanders Field.
Just a little little note I have to say. When I was in the 7th grade, I came into my classroom and printed on the board was in Flanders Field. And we were asked to memorize it and recite it that day. So it's a poem that has stayed with me all of these years. And I can honestly say it's the only one I was ever asked to memorize. And with that, in Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely slinging fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye bring faith with those who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. Thank you.
Where's our chaplain? Come on up here. You have to do the blessing.
So I would like to take a minute and pause for all those veterans that have gone before. We could bow our heads and take a minute. To think of all the heroes that were in that group of people. I also want to mention the veterans that are here in the room. Could you guys stand up, please? Men and women, if you're a veteran, stand. See, so now we can applaud. These men are mostly all from Post 144, and I've gotten to know them. Wonderful people, they're crazy people. So, could you join me in a prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Have a wonderful day. You guys all enjoy it.